one category of the NBA Finals is set. We know who's coming out of the West. It happens to be the Golden State Warriors. Didn't I tell you, Jay? Didn't I tell you from the opening tap of the season, the Golden State Warriors would be where they officially are?
Don't jinx them.
There is one
What
other category to be established. The Boston Celtics against Miami. It's suspense for y'all. Not so much for me. First takes in the house. By the way, I like that tie.
Thank you.
Fix it.
Thank you.
The right side.
Yeah,
Fix it on the right side.
There it is.
I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
He doesn't even have a tie.
Let's follow the yellow.
Golden State headed to the NBA Finals. The embers of the dynasty still glowing.
This one is special. This is a group that no one thought would ever be back here. And we here, we back.
We know this isn't the ultimate goal.
We still got 4 more to go, Dub Nation.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take on a Feel Good Friday. It has been a minute. Very collegiate. I like this, Jay Will.
Well, he says I don't come to the game dressed
how we feeling?
for success, so I just want to make sure I stepped up my level.
Dress for the job you want.
Not for the job you have.
Yeah.
Very, very good advice. I'm glad to learn that y'all listen to me from
We
time to
are.
time. Thank you so much. You look very nice today, Mom.
Thank you.
You seem very mild-mannered.
I'm tired. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired, bro. I've been traveling a lot, you know. I've been traveling a lot, damn it. But I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm ready to get to the finals and get this over with, but I'm good.
Okay.
Sorry, you won't be going to Miami. I apologize. Let's just be honest about it. We know what time it is.
Here's the good news. You'll be up there in the Bay Area, and you can go to L.A. in between. So it's all good. Let's go.
I can't go to LA.
Why? You can absolutely.
Because I have to
LA
work,
between.
Molly.
You get days off. Go to wine country. Go to.
I get days off?
No, in between the games.
You get days off?
Okay.
Let's go.
Do you guys want to talk some basketball?
Of course, that's why I'm here.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay. Last night, the Warriors became the first team to reach 6 finals in 8 years since MJ's Bulls. Sounds like a dynasty to this girl. Led by 32 points from Klay Thompson, the Golden State Warriors drowned the Dallas Mavericks in 5 games. When you faced adversity, oftentimes you feel even more grateful for those good days. And boy, did Klay Thompson have a good day. And he's certainly feeling that way after being sidelined for 2 seasons.
Man, you're going to make me emotional, man. It's just hard to put into words, man. Like, I dreamt of this day during some dog days. And to be here, I'm so thankful for our squad, man. They started the season so incredibly well, allowed us to finish out strong, and we are 4 wins away from a championship.
Splash Brothers in full effect. I'm so happy for him, by the way, after 2 seasons, and then to get back and to lead them to the win. Stephen A., what's the importance of Klay for this title run?
I think he's everything. Listen, he's the one guy that has the capability to galvanize a crowd, particularly in the Bay Area, similar to what Steph Curry does. That's the kind of impact that Klay Thompson has on this team. It's not to diminish anything anybody else is doing. Jordan Poole, Kevon Looney, even Moody coming off the bench as a rookie and doing what he did in impressive fashion. Of course, the continued leadership of Draymond Green. We take all of that into consideration, and we know what Steph brings to the table. But when Klay Thompson is balling the way he can ball and the way he is supposed to ball, the Warriors look like the Warriors. When it's Steph without Klay, it's just Steph. It's Steph carrying the load. But when Klay gets going, it seems to be that's what we anticipate when we expect a collective effort from the Warriors. And I think about Klay. He averaged 18 points a game on 47% shooting in this series. His three-point shooting percentage is still approximately at around 37% for this particular series against Dallas. But in the end, what it comes down to is that he's incredibly pivotal to the success of this team, because even though he's not what he used to be defensively, because he's been out the last 2 years before coming back in January, he's still formidable enough defensively, and you are going to need that with these upcoming NBA Finals. You don't just need Klay the shooter. You need Klay the complete player.
I just want to say I am so happy for Klay. 941 days that he did not play basketball to now be back on the court after a torn ACL and then a torn Achilles. I didn't know if we will ever see this version of Klay. So I just want to give him a standing O for that because that takes an incredible mental fortitude to get back on the court.
Perseverance.
Yeah, I think he's pivotal. But I also think that Jordan Poole, even though he hasn't been exploding the way he has throughout the regular season, is a huge piece that can provide that momentum. Now, he's not the same momentum bucket getter like Clay, because when Clay gets going, you feel the energy differently. But having Jordan Poole that can help when there are lulls offensively from Steph and Clay allow you to tread water. So at times, he's very important. I'm not saying he's not, but I don't think he's as important as he used to be because you didn't have a guy like Jordan Poole that can give you those buckets when you needed them. So important, yes. And I'm not minimizing the importance of Klay Thompson because he's still important. But at the end of the day, when you got a guy like Jordan Poole that can still create, and there are times Patrick Beverley has talked about having players being on cones. You know, look, there were times Luka Doncic was on a cone last night when Jordan Poole had the ball because he can dance, go get it. And there is a similar momentum, not the same type of momentum, bucket getter, but there's a similar momentum with Jordan Poole.
No question. But I will say this, Jordan Poole, and this is not, we can't throw any shade on him because he's averaged like 16 points in this series against Dallas, okay? But he did it shooting 63% from the field. He only took like 44 shots this entire series. I don't know whether to be concerned about that or not. I know we saw Clay getting going, okay? We obviously know who Steph is and what have you. But I'm saying Steph obviously took 90 shots. Klay Thompson took 76 shots this series, all right? Andrew Wiggins took 78 shots. Jordan Poole had 44. Now, that could be on purpose because Wiggins got going, Klay Thompson got going. You roll with that. But remember how we were talking about Jordan Poole in the first round series with Denver? Because we saw what we saw. That's dropped off to some degree in the Memphis and now the Dallas series. I'm only bringing that up because I believe we'll need to see more if indeed they end up playing the Boston Celtics, who I believe are going to win tonight. So I'm keeping my eyes out for that because you're going to need all your horses. You're going to need all your ducks in a row. If you're going to beat the Boston Celtics, you're going to need to be complete. You can't be lacking in any category if you're the Golden State Warriors. You got to bring your A game to win this finals.
All right, let's get to the other half of the Splash Brothers. Steph Curry, meanwhile, with his performance, took home the first Magic Johnson Western Conference Finals MVP award. Here's how the five-time champ reacted. It's really cool that the greatest shooter basketball has ever seen, a friend, future Hall of Famer, great person. Steph Curry won the first ever Magic Johnson Western Conference Finals MVP award. Congratulations. Jay, I'll start with you. How significant of a challenge is this finals in Steph's career?
So I honestly think this is the most meaningful NBA Finals that Steph will have of his career because the Boston Celtics are metrically the best defensive team that he's ever seen in the NBA Finals and for this dynasty of the Golden State Warriors. Like, look, they're number one in field goal percentage, number one in points allowed per game, and they also have the Defensive Player of the Year in Marcus Smart. So when I look back at the 2015 World Championship, right, and look, all championships aren't created equally. You had Kevin Love, who missed the entire series. You had Kyrie Irving, who missed a ton of games due to injury. Then obviously 2016, they're up 3-1. Draymond kicks, he gets suspended for the games. They lose that. 2017-18, you have Kevin Durant, who got NBA Finals MVP. And now you're talking about them missing the playoffs for 2 years. Now you're playing against a team in which Steph is setting it up for him to have his Heisman Trophy-like moment against a team that is so complete defensively, even with Marcus Smart being somewhat hobbled. The defensive discipline that the Boston Celtics bring to the table, 1 through 5, all the pieces fit. Yeah. You have Robert Williams, if he's healthy, being able to roam the paint. You have Marcus Smart that will probably take on the primary defendership role of Stephen Curry. You have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown that can switch everything, long athletic wings. And then you have Al Horford, even as a second rim protector, but a high basketball IQ who knows where to be all the time. That's why I think this is going to be the biggest test for the Golden State Warriors throughout all their runs.
S.A., real quick, let me just ask you, what do you mean by Heisman Trophy winning performance? Because he hasn't won a Finals MVP?
No, I'm just saying, like, going against He's
Just
never
because
played
who
against
he's facing.
Yes.
Not. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't bring in the MVP finals thing. That's not part of the conversation for me. I'm not one of those people.
Okay.
He doesn't need to win the finals MVP to cement his legacy to me.
I agree.
I am not on that train.
I agree with that. I think he's the greatest shooter we've ever
Facts.
seen in our life.
No, just wanted
and he's
clarity
a
on what
three-time
you meant by the
champion. And
Heisman.
so these people out here who thinks that he has to win an NBA Finals to cement his legacy, when you have established yourself undisputably as the greatest shooter God ever created, and you're a three-time champion, there is no such thing of needing to win an NBA Finals because you already established yourself as the specialist in a particular category. When we look at Magic Johnson, we look at his passing ability and his overall ability to run a show. When we look at Isaiah Thomas, we look at the miniature dynamo, the small guard, and how he beat giants throughout his career. Yeah. We know what Jordan brings to the table. We know LeBron James' resume. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter God ever created. When you think shooting, you think him, and the fact that he's got 3 championships and 5 finals appearances, now 6. There's nothing. He doesn't need a Finals MVP to cement his legacy. But I will say this: Boston is a different beast.
Yes, they are.
And I mean, and to the Miami.
Do you agree with what he said, that this is the toughest team that he's potentially facing?
I believe
in the
so.
finals?
I believe so. Let me say this to you, and I hope the Miami Heat are listening. I'm not discrediting the Miami Heat at all. Mm-hmm. Miami is hurt.
Yeah.
They don't have the bodies.
Yeah.
This is not about, is Jimmy Butler really a star? But Tyler Hero can't play. He's missed the last 2 games. Jimmy Butler's knee is not right.
Yep.
It is clear, okay? Kyle Lowry is hurt. Now, we can sit up there and dismiss Kyle Lowry all we want to. This brother's a champion, and he's been a pit bull his entire career, all right, and a master at drawing fouls. He can change games with his defensive prowess as well. Let's not ignore all of that. But they're all hurt. You'd have had a problem beating Boston if you were healthy.
Gabe Vincent and Max Strus can only take you so far.
Listen, Max Strus is a different.
That's a different conversation.
0 for 16 over the last 2
well,
games.
Him and Kyle Lowry, 1 of 28.
I understand that. I understand that. But again, Kyle Lowry hurt. Now I understand that Strus tweaked his hamstring to some degree. But my God, 0 for 16, Jesus. Now I will say this to you: Boston is a different animal, and here's why. It's not just that their defense is tenacious. Mm-hmm. They don't have to double. They switch
everything.
They switch. They make sure someone's always in your face. No shots are going uncontested when they're on their game. Everything is being contested. So when you combine that with the fact that Jaylen Brown is 6'6", and Jason Tatum 6'8", 6'9", and Robert Williams is 6'10", 6'11", and Al Horford is 6'10", and Marcus Smart is this pit bull that's the reigning defensive player of the year. And then you got guys like Derek White and Grant Williams coming off the bench. The one thing that we know about Boston, they're going to be there. Yeah. They ain't running from nobody.
Which team is actually better?
That's right. Well, I'm going to say with the Warriors.
I think the Warriors are slightly better, and I'll give them the edge because of experience.
Okay.
But here's what I will say, and it's not a knock to these players, but Marcus Smart is not Matthew Dellavedova. He's not Fred VanVleet, right? If you pay attention, and I get the Kawhi Leonard stuff when they played against Toronto, but Kawhi was a bigger wing. If you pay attention to Marcus Smart, he will chase your tail off every screen. He will stay attached to your hip, and he has relentless energy because his conditioning is different.
And remember, he's physical. He's the one that got Steph Curry out for a few games, diving for the loose ball, upsetting Steve Kerr. It rolled on his knee and stuff like that. Marcus Smart is going for it. He's coming for you. And so it's not just a matter of skill, it's also a matter of will. Because Boston is going to get up in you and they're going to make you uncomfortable. They're going to crowd you. They're going to suffocate you. They're going to beat you up. They're going to do all these things and dare you to withstand it. And Golden State is the epitome of finesse. They are a finesse team. And so when you have a team that's bigger than you and physical, and by the way, know it and live off of that. Again, we're looking past Miami. The only reason we're looking past Miami is because I don't believe they're healthy. They don't have I picked Boston to win this series in 7 games when I thought they were healthy. And I thought it would go 7. I look at Miami now and I'm like, damn, who's going to play? Who's going to play?
Boston's to lose.
Because they're just I watched the video of Kyle Lowry coming off the bus. He was limping coming off the bus. He's hurt.
So, Stephen,
he's hurt.
This is why I need Steph and these guys to win this, right? Because first off, I think Steph is going to be top 10 before it's all said and done. But there are a lot of people out there that like finding holes in the argument of his legacy. And like the word legacy always comes up, which really bothers me. Because, oh, well, Kevin Love was out or Kyrie was out. Or then they got, then they had it, but they lost Draymond Green and Steph couldn't be there in those big moments. And then they had to bring in Kevin Durant, who got NBA Finals MVP. And, then Klay was out. So, like, for my thing, I just want to shut all those people up. I do. Because Steph deserves all the praise in the world.
I don't think this will even do it. I think people just hate on Steph.
Yeah, exactly.
I think people hate on Steph for a multitude of reasons.
Well, people find holes in the argument. People find I
don't know if he wins another finals. People are still going to hate on Steph Curry.
Well, let me tell you
You
why.
went 4?
Let me tell you why. First of all,
you went 4 and it's yours?
First of all, let me tell you why they're going to hate on him. Because in their eyes, he's too perfect. Yeah. My point to you is that I love him. I love him. He's a great dude, and he's a great player.
Exactly.
And by the way, he's a great leader.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People, let me tell you something. Who don't want to play with Steph? I want y'all to watch when the Golden State Warriors, and give Steve Kerr a lot of credit because they play selfless basketball for the most part. It ain't just Draymond. Draymond is just the most gifted at it. Mm-hmm. But it's not just Draymond. You could be a shooter. Even the shooters defer to Klay. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, defer to Steph.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll sit up there. If they open and Steph's open, Steph getting the ball. Yeah. It's automatic. It's instinctual. And no one has a problem with it. Mm-hmm. They don't have a problem with being deferential. They don't have a problem with giving them the credit. He's loved by everybody. He shows up to perform. He doesn't cheat the game. He doesn't get him any trouble. He's got a great family. Yeah. The bottom line is that, listen, the dude is blessed. He's not only blessed as the greatest shooter that we've ever seen, but he's been blessed with the proper surroundings where he's the great person. And you got some people that hate on him because they can't be him.
That's what I was alluding to.
They can't be him.
The other thing I like about him is he's so cocky on the court and he's so humble off the court.
I'll tell you something else. They have fun. Like, when do we see athletes at this level have fun?
Well, it's fun to win.
I'm saying he's having fun.
Give Steve Kerr credit for that.
I will.
Because the system that they play in, how can you not enjoy playing in that system? Because if you can put the ball in the hole, understand that with Golden State, everybody eats. If you can shoot, Steve Kerr ain't stopping you. Steve Kerr ain't stopping you. Steph Curry ain't stopping you. Klay ain't stopping you. If you can shoot, go ahead and shoot. Everybody eats with the Golden State Warriors. And that's why you have so much fun, because you don't feel deprived. You have your opportunity to shine playing for the Golden State Warriors if you can put the ball in the hole. Everybody knows that, and that feeds that kind of joy that you see.
Of course, and that's a real success. Not just you succeeding, but everyone around you. All right, guys, let's get to the West. So meanwhile, not quite the performance we expected from Luka Doncic. His streak of scoring 30 or more points in elimination games was snapped at 5. He shot 10 of 28 from the field with a plus-minus of -12, and he didn't score a point in the second quarter. Here's Luka on his performance.
I don't like losing, especially not like this. I play like terrible. I'm really proud of this team, man. Nobody had us here, but I promise we fought till end. I think you can see championship team the Warriors are, and we gotta learn how to be that.
All right, Jay. Well, do you have an issue with how Luka played last night?
No, I think I have a bigger overall issue that I like to address. Well, that's another conversation, the fashion wear. Look, let me preface everything I'm about to say by Luka is one of the most offensive, gifted players that the game of basketball has ever seen. I love watching him play. And he has taken a lot of undrafted players and second-round players to the Western Conference Finals that deserves a lot of praise and a lot of credit. But I will not let anybody ever again, until he proves it, put his name in the same conversation with LeBron James. I won't do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not even going to come out with the similarities of passing, the footwork, the body size, all of that. Because I think for me, for Luka's name to be mentioned in that same category, even though the stats may start to, associate him in that realm, LeBron James, the effort that I saw him give on the defensive end, night in and night out, it's just different. It's exponentially different. Now, we have Patrick Beverley on our network for the last couple of days, and his commentary is always very
He's coming
enlightening.
on the show, by the way.
Enlightening. And he talked about certain players in the NBA being cones, right? I don't know if you saw, there were multiple times like where I'm questioning the effort of Luka defensively. Jordan Poole had him on skates where he blew by him. There are times defensively in transition where Luka doesn't even run back with a sense of urgency. So when I start talking about the great players in the game, the greatest players in the game, that 0.0001%, you at least, even with Steph, I'm seeing him give effort. He may not be as great as a defensive player as a LeBron James or Michael Jordan, these guys, but he's giving effort. He's showing you that mentally he is applying himself. And for Luka to get his name in that upper echelon as the LeBron James, the Giannis's, I need there to be effort. And I think that's the next step we're seeing in the evolution of his game. Now, his body may not ever be able to change, but the conditioning aspect, not only of his body, but of his mind, about him drawing a line in the sand and being that complete player on the offensive end to a certain degree on the defensive end, that's what I need to see from Luka. That sets a tone for the rest of the players on his team for him to take that next step.
Well, you're not wrong. You're just not complete. Luka just finished averaging 28, 9, and 8 during the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
During the postseason, looking at his numbers here, okay, in the Western Conference Finals, he averaged 32, 9, and 6, okay?
Incredible.
Throughout his playoff career, in his 3 years in the league, we're talking about him like he's been in the league for 10 years. Luka's been in the league, was it 4 years or so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 3-4 years or so. Luka Doncic's career playoff averages are 32, 9, and 8. Why is the comparison with LeBron coming up? Because he's ball dominant and dictates pace. That's why. When you look at LeBron James has the ball in his hands. He creates and then exploits mismatches. Where you're right and where the real focus needs to be on in regards to Luka is his commitment, not his skill. His skill is there. Here's his problem. He's not in great shape. He's not in great shape. Understand, Molly, I've been at games where I'm on the court and I'm standing behind LeBron James. I'm not the biggest dude in the world, but I'm 6'1", nearly 200 pounds. You can't find me. LeBron is massive. Yeah. He's 6'9", 260s. You ever see the shoulders on this brother? Yeah. He's ripped like a chiseled brick house. He's constantly in shape. LeBron doesn't get in shape. LeBron stays in shape. LeBron's in shape now. Mm-hmm. He never lets go.
Yeah, it's a life.
Luka's one of those dudes. Luka, the reason why you don't see any effort on defense is because A, what's expected of him offensively, and B, because he don't have the energy nor the passion. That's why you're not wrong in what you're saying. But it's not like he can't do something. Luka's a guy, like Jason Kidd stated months ago. This is step one. Step one is him getting to this place and understanding his responsibility. Step two is now, okay, we know what you can do for us offensively. Now, what you going to do to help us win games in other areas? Because you need to be in better shape. You need to defend. You need for opposing defenses to not pick on you and to ask for you because they know they can take advantage of you because you can't keep up. Because Luka's not that guy. He's not in shape. And so as a result of it, when we talk about a guy like LeBron James, for example, let's understand, of all the great things that LeBron James has achieved, 10 NBA trips to the finals, 10 trips to the NBA finals, 4 championships, etc. Of all the things that we should pay homage to LeBron for, to me, the number one thing is his professionalism. He doesn't cheat you. He's always in shape. He's always ready. You literally have to hurt him for him not to be ready because he takes care of himself, because he understands the responsibility that comes with being a professional, and he embraces it and lives up to it.
Allow me the opportunity, because I want to help you reframe how you're thinking. Because I said that there are similarity traits, right, as far as passing dominant. But my thing is that does such a disservice to LeBron James by us putting their names together. Because you said something so illuminating to me. We're talking about one of the best, and you're leading with a headline stating that he's not in shape. Listen to that for 1 second. He's not in shape. So what that's saying is, for a guy like LeBron James, who came in from high school, who had this undesirable, this mindset that he was relentless with his shape and his conditioning, like completed with the skill set, that's my bigger point, Stephen A., is that I can't put Luka in that same conversation because I don't see that mental commitment. And I understand that where he's maturing towards, right? But he can't be there yet if he's not that commitment that he hasn't have yet.
But what I'm saying to you is nobody is saying it like that. What they're saying is there's a similarity in style. If I'm watching a boxer and one's in shape and the one's not in shape, but your style is similar to that fighter, you're not saying he's that fighter, that he's on that level. You're saying that there's a style of play that this dude exhibits, and that's what happens. And when you look at Luka, because he's ball dominant and he's exploiting mismatches and he's dictating pace, and he does it so skillfully in most instances, you look at him and you say, okay, who's the one person that does that even better? That's LeBron James. And that's the only reason.
So
but nobody's comparing the two.
Defensive player of the year, a guy who has a relentless heart on the deep. It's just
it's just style.
I hear the styles, but
confusing it.
I know because you're talking about nuances.
Jay,
but I'm saying,
do you agree that he's not in shape? That there's another level he
I've
can
been
go
saying
to?
that. I've been saying that.
We all know that.
I've been saying that.
We all know
about
that
him since the beginning.
And he, believe it or not, he's held the Dallas, as great as Luka is, he's held himself and the Dallas Mavericks back from being all he can be and being all they can be, because as great as he is, he leaves something on the floor because he's never fully in shape.
But see, you can have styles that look the same, but the complete packages are completely different. You have one that is the complete package. You have the other that shows traits to potentially be that.
It's a discussion if somebody said, it's an argument rather, if somebody said Luka's comparable to LeBron James, they're on the same level.
People do say that.
I haven't heard that.
People say that.
I haven't heard that.
Not saying on the same level, but people say they're comparable.
I haven't heard that. They'll say their styles are similar. And Luka's a bad brother. He can ball. This is not
I agree with you on that.
This is not a scrub.
There's levels to it.
But what happens is that when you inch towards greatness the way that he has, ultimately what's missing is going to become more flagrant because what's the excuse for missing it?
Understood.
But I just want to say, in terms of he's held the Mavs back, he's also, I get your point. No, he's talking about the being in shape of the defense side, but he's also uplifted the franchise. Yes. Both things can be true.
But also,
I just don't want people taking that out of context.
I think this is important that we actually clarify this. We are talking about a different level. We're talking about this level up here that is that small, rarefied air.
LeBron?
The difference between like a guy like Luka who has elevated his team, but like we're talking about Luka. Some people are projecting he has a chance to be one of the greatest to ever do that. So to be the greatest to ever do that, there are different levels to it.
Yeah.
That's all.
You know what? I heard you elevated your team. So apparently, do we have some video here? Jay will?
I elevated my team?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah. Kaepernick, who last played professional football in 2016, the year that he started kneeling during the national anthem to protest racial injustice, worked out Wednesday for the Las Vegas Raiders. His first workout with an NFL team since being exiled. Cap's arm strength and conditioning stood out in his workout, but no signing was imminent as of late Thursday night. That, according to our Jeremy Fowler. The Raiders considered Kaepernick's workout a positive, a source said, and Las Vegas could be looking for another passer to serve as the backup for Derek Carr, despite trading for former New England Patriots quarterback Jarrett Stidham and signing Nick Mullins. New head coach Josh McDaniels is not entertaining hypotheticals, though. Take a listen.
We won't only talk about the people that are on our team. I mean, Dave and his staff have worked out tons of guys, this spring. And we really don't make comments about the evaluations that we made or, what they look like, what they didn't look like, strengths and weaknesses, those kind of things. They're kind of, private, obviously, for us as we look at things to try to make decisions to make the team better.
There he is, Ryan Clark. It's been a good minute. Great to see you. Great to see you. Great to see you. Tell me this. Is now the right time for Cap to get back in the NFL? What do you think?
No, it's not. The right time was 5 years ago. And the NFL doing this thing and doing it at this time, or the Las Vegas Raiders doing it at this time, yeah, it's cool and it's fun and it's going to be a story and it's going to be something we get an opportunity to talk about. But for me, it just raises more questions. Why is Colin Kaepernick more fit now for a workout or for an opportunity in the NFL than he was 5 years ago coming fresh off of the football field? Why is Colin Kaepernick a viable option as a backup, a viable option as a team member or a player in your organization now than he was, and why wasn't he 5 years ago? And I think we all know the answers to that, Molly. And you used the word exiled. I will use the word blackballed. And I think you want to use that word for two reasons. One reason is that's exactly what happened. But the color black is important in that Colin Kaepernick peacefully protested something that was going to support minorities. Now, there are many things that we talk about in the NFL, and all of those things are applauded, but what Colin Kaepernick did, that's where we draw the line. There are so many different people who have committed crimes, who have done things in this league, and those people aren't bad for business. Colin Kaepernick was. Now, all of a sudden, because we've moved from 2016, even on our network, Molly, think about the difference in the rhetoric that is allowed by us. The opportunities we get to express ourselves and say certain things as it was compared to 2016. That's exactly where we are now in the league. Now in the league, it won't cost you money. You won't have to answer to your sponsors. You won't have to answer to your fans if Colin Kaepernick gets a workout, and that's why it's okay. This has nothing to do with his skill. Nothing to do with his viability or his ability to play on your team. This is simply a time where they feel it's at least okay to bring him in. It'll be good for PR to say we at least tried, that things will have to change. But here's my issue. The NFL can't leave this thing looking good. Now, what I want, since Colin Kaepernick decided to take this workout, is that he gets an opportunity in training camp to get on the field and show us one or two things. Show us that he can no longer, or show us that he still can play. Both of those things are bad for the NFL. If he shows us he still can play, now we can talk about all the years this man has missed due to the NFL blackballing him for peacefully protesting. And if he can't, we're going to say the NFL wasted 5 years of this man's life where he could have been playing and living out his dream. Now, there are going to be people on the other side that say, okay, well, you know, he took a settlement. Well, he protested. He sued the NFL. All of those things are okay. But for me, if I'm the Las Vegas Raiders, the NFL, or any of the teams, any of the owners, I say we can't give him a workout now because we did not then. And so I think this is a bad look for everyone involved.
I don't disagree with a single word that you said. To reiterate your point, he has been blackballed. He was blackballed. And we know this. We know that he peacefully protested. Most importantly, we know he was neither in violation of any laws or any NFL bylaws. There was nothing in the NFL bylaws that stipulated you had to stand for the national anthem. If we recall, the NFL stated that they strongly encouraged those to do so, but it was not a mandate like it has existed in the NBA and Major League Baseball. So when you take all of those things into consideration, it made their actions against him completely egregious. And we know this. We know that he should have been in the NFL years ago. We know that he's unfairly treated. We know that he was blackballed. And we also know why. Because you don't have minority representation, meaning black representation amongst the ownership groups in the National Football League. Shad Khan is Pakistani American. I think Kim Pagula is Asian American. She's in Buffalo. Outside of that, you don't have any black ownership in the National Football League. You got older white males that were looking at nothing but their bottom line, heard the noise emanating from the political stratosphere, courtesy of the former president who had hijacked the narrative to his own advantage, and Colin Kaepernick suffered from it. There is no disagreement there. But if we're going to be completely open and real, which we both know you will be as well as me, RC, let's go back to 2019, because like you said, If you play him now, if you put him on there now, you should have put it on there years ago. And if you don't put him on there now, it's just a further evidence that you have blackballed him. So either way you slice it,
Right.
the NFL is going to look bad, and they should. No disagreement there. But I'm tired of us, just as a society, not talking about what mishaps Colin Kaepernick may have done. Because he took a knee and because he protested, and we know that he was blackballed, we stopped there. Now let's get to what he could have done to work around that once it had been done. 2019, the NFL sponsored the workout. You refused to show up. You showed up on a high school field, right? Because you said you didn't trust them. Well, we already knew you didn't trust them. You sued them and you settled with them, okay? And most people who sue their employers don't go back to work for them. You were looking to do so. RC was on television then. I was on television then. A whole bunch of analysts, black and white, all over the place, all supported him. The public supported him. His contemporaries in the National Football League supported him. And society as a whole was emboldened to stand up and say, okay, go do this workout. That way, when you show what you show, and we know you're going to show it, we got your back. And he didn't trust us to do so. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about the fact that the NFL was who screwed you over. Society did it. Society was on your side. For the millions of Americans that were against you, there were tens of millions, if not more, who were for you. And we were ready to stand up and go like this. You see what he did in that workout? Now give him a damn job. Stop holding him back. You blackballing him. We going to make sure your products suffer if you do this to him. He didn't trust us to have his back. And because he didn't trust us to have his back, and he listened to his own peeps, he worked out at a high school gym instead of the NFL-sponsored facility that owned by the Atlanta Falcons, and he was never fully seen in that workout, and as a result, he wasn't signed on by anybody else. We can't just talk about what he did and how wrong they were to do what they did to him because of it, and not bring up the fact that that was a missed opportunity on his part that he should have and could have easily exploited, and we all would have had his back. And he may have been in the NFL since 2019.
You know, I guess when I look at that workout, and we've had this discussion before, I disagree with your stance on it. I disagree that it was done in benefit of Colin Kaepernick. I felt like it was done in benefit of the National Football League. And you are right. The National Football League has never... Yeah, the National Football League has never done anything like that for a single player. The only reason it did it for Colin Kaepernick is because, to me, it was almost an acknowledgement that they had wronged him, an acknowledgement that they understood that he was blackballed. They knew he was blackballed. Not going to say it was a conversation. It was an acknowledgement. Now, on the other side of this, we've talked about it. I think 18 of the scouts that were there were African American.
That's right.
Well, African-American scouts aren't the only scouts making decisions. White scouts make decisions too, right? Other minority scouts make the decision. Why is it a black workout? The other piece is it was during the season and it was on a Saturday, right? On Tuesdays, and we've had a discussion, on Tuesdays is when teams have workouts. Why? Because football teams are off then. Now you can get GMs. Now you can get head of pro personnel. You can get the people that truly make decisions to put eyes on the guys that are playing. Now, obviously, you can tape it. You can send it all these places. But nothing is like being there, being able to feel, touch, and understand what is going on with that player on that day. Because none of those things happen. And we also have to remember the release form that he didn't trust the NFL enough to sign. And so much was going into that. And for a man that had stood on principle, which is the reason he was out of the league, I believe he stood on principle that day. Now, we could say if, and we could say maybe, and we could say it could be. Maybe all those things are true. And if you want to find fault in Colin Kaepernick, I guess you can work your way to finding fault. But for me, it's about the NFL. It's about the way they treated him. And I still believe that this is 5 years too late.
Well, first of all, I believe it's 5 years too late as well, number one. Number two, I don't believe I'm finding fault. What I'm saying is he did nothing wrong. But the fact of the matter is you knew what they did to you. You already knew you couldn't trust them. So the conditions under which they wanted to work out, we all publicly acknowledged was unfair to him. But we still believed in his abilities. And we still said when he goes there and shows them in spite of it, because he ain't getting in shape, he stays in shape. He's going to go out there and show what he's capable of doing. It will speak for itself. So we understand the parameters and we understood the obstacles, but we were all still sitting at you didn't recommend that he not show up for the workout. None of us did. What we said is, we see what y'all doing. We know what y'all doing. We know how slick y'all think y'all are. But we also knew that Jay-Z and others were communicating with owners, and they were like, yo, you gonna give him this workout because you're not gonna treat this brother this way. It's important to our community that you do that. And it wasn't just black scouts who showed up or black player personnel people. It were white people there as well. It's just that 18 black folks showed up with them. The point that I'm making is, in the end, regardless of the obstacles, we all face obstacles. We know how unfair. We know about the inequities. We know about the trials and tribulations we have to endure. We conquer anyway. You can't do that when you don't show up. He didn't show up. That's all. That's all.
Situation.
Yeah, for me, Stephen A., I totally disagree that him not showing up to that workout is the reason that Colin Kaepernick isn't in the league.
No,
right
I didn't
now.
say that's the
Colin
reason.
Kaepernick wasn't in the league.
I didn't say that's the
Colin
reason. I'm
Kaepernick
saying he
wasn't in
should have done it because he would have conquered. He would have showed out. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's the reason he's out. I'm saying had he shown up, he would have showed out. And I think that with the pressure that would have been brought to bear, they'd have had no choice. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Gotcha.
RC's done. Okay, cool. Yeah, unfortunate on many levels, the whole situation, obviously.
He's been blackballed. It's totally unfair to him.
Yeah, and he missed the window. Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate that he even was in a position that he had to kneel, that we're still in this situation.
Exactly.
So that's why I say it's unfortunate on so many levels.
And the owners could get away with it because they know folks are still going to watch the NFL. And that's the real sad part about it, that they get away with doing what they've done to him. We know they ain't worth a damn. Yeah. You're right, RC. You're absolutely right. We know that.
Yep.
And he chose the greater good, but unfortunately missed out on doing the thing he loves, which is ultimate sacrifice. RC, good stuff. When we come back here on First Take, a lot more to get to. How confident are the Celtics? Game 6, as I just said tonight. Stephen A., how important is it for the C's to end this series this evening?
They need to, because obviously they've been nicked and knacked with injuries along the way. Al Horford got sick, Marcus Smart got hurt, Robert Williams has been in and out of games because of his health issues. So if you win tonight, you've got a full 5 days rest before you play game 1 next Thursday night during the NBA Finals. That's important. Without that, you got to go through another game and you expose yourself to additional travel and potentially another injury. You need the rest.
I got a little something special to show you. Let's take a moment.
C-Mac, and I am the one.
Oh, Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady. Here comes McGrady. Oh, he just sucked the gravity right out of the building. For the win. Yeah.
I'm truly humbled. I'm grateful and proud to be in the class of 2017.
There he is, crewed up.
What's up, guys?
What's up, my brother?
T-Max in the building, the Hall of Famer. How we doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
It's my first time here, man. I appreciate it. I'm back.
Yeah, it's good to see you, man.
It's great to have you.
Yeah.
It's good. You got some cool stuff you're working on. We'll get that in just a minute, but let's talk some hoops first. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All
He
right.
like to talk hoops. I mean, he got opinions.
He knows how to
Trust
play,
me.
too.
I know
He knows
this.
that. Oh.
You
I
know.
think this guy has some opinions, too. Right, Pep?
I'm already.
I go back with both a long
in the
ways.
cut.
These are two of the most opinionated dudes.
Yeah.
Trust me.
This is America.
Oh,
Right.
my
I ain't
God.
mad. I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Okay.
I like it. Come on now. Come on now.
Welcome it, huh?
All right, let's do it. T-Mac,
You know
great
me.
to have you.
You
Okay,
know.
last night the Warriors became the first team to reach 6 finals in 8 years since MJ's Bulls. That sounds like a dynasty to me, led by 32 points from Clay. The Golden State Warriors drowned the Dallas Mavericks in 5 games. Stephen A., you've been betting on the Warriors all season. But first, let me play this for you.
If Klay Thompson comes back healthy, Kendrick Perkins, the Warriors might win it all. I really mean it. I'm not playing with anybody. Molly, it is official. I'm picking the Golden State Warriors to win the championship.
Okay.
Fully loaded and healthy with Klay, Steph on the court together, with Draymond, with Poole, and all of those brothers that Draymond is going to be there to hold accountable, I'm rolling with the Warriors. I've been with the Warriors since day one, and I ain't jumping off that ship. It's about the Warriors.
Okay. You still confident?
I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous.
Why?
I ain't jumping off. Listen, I believe that the Miami Heat are too depleted. They will lose tonight. I think Boston's going to the NBA Finals. And obviously I'll be there tonight in Boston. Boston's no joke. And I look at the Warriors and the Denver series, I was really, really feeling great about them. They rolled up against Memphis. And I saw Ja Morant drop, a 40 on a 47 one night.
Because I won out there.
Say what?
Because I won out there.
Okay, all right.
I
But
just
you
wanna put
wasn't.
that out
But
there.
why? You know what?
Vulture
First of all, the new media guru. Let me tell you
He's
something.
a pit bull.
I love it. Let me ask you this question.
30% from the field, 20% from the three.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Why were you not out there?
They got sound.
Because y'all lost. So relax. When your turn is coming, you lost.
You're
All right.
right.
So here's the deal.
Say less.
Here's the deal. The Golden State Warriors, to me, should be the favorites. They're lethal. But what I saw them struggle in a few games against Memphis. And I'm looking at Dallas, who to me serves no litmus test whatsoever because they don't have a rim protector. You can get to the rim on them anytime you want to and have little to no resistance at all. That is not going to be the Boston Celtics. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think Golden State and with their A game will beat anybody. They need their A game to beat Boston. That's all I'm saying.
But so you do say that.
I'm still going with the Warriors.
Oh, Golden State, he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going with Golden State. After we lost, that's the only team I really trust. The Celtics have a hard time guarding splits. Obviously, that's what Golden State. That's Golden State offense. So I got Golden State with this. I don't know how many games. I didn't have the Celtics beating the Heat, so. You know, I might be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. This is First Take. A lot of people are wrong on this show. So
No.
Shots fired.
Not really me, but go ahead.
Just in general,
Aggressive.
everything's not
So
the truth in this show.
aggressive.
So I got Golden State winning it, and that's what I got. So I'm not confident.
What?
Although I said last year, I'm not confident in the Warriors. I said last year during the season, without Klay, I uttered the same thing you said. If Klay Thompson comes back, Warriors will win the championship, right? And that's not me including Jordan Poole in this. Having seen him this year and how Memphis challenged him, to beat Golden State, you got to have durability, right? You got to have some young dogs that can chase these guys around. Also, you got to be able to exert that energy on the offensive end as well. You got to have length. You got to have size. You got to have some dogs. Boston has that, right? That's why I think Boston is going to win the championship because Boston have two guys that I know can get buckets at any given time. They can challenge Steph Curry. They can match Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Jordan Poole. They have the size, they have the length, and these guys are hella competitive. They can switch out. They could guard these guys on the perimeter. I trust Al Horford to get out on the perimeter, move his feet, and make it tough on them. They have rim protection with Williams back there. Right. So I think the core guys for the Boston Celtics is going to outplay the core guys for the Golden State Warriors.
Let me say this. A couple of things. Number one, to get back to your statement.
Which one?
Talk about people wrong here a lot. Well, they wrong on Get Up. They wrong on PTI. They wrong on Fox. They wrong on NBC. They wrong on CNN. They wrong with the Player podcast, too. Everybody wrong all the damn time.
So the media's wrong.
So let's be very, very clear about that. Don't be isolating First Take.
Okay.
That's number one.
All
right.
I mean, it's opinions and predictions.
Number two. What T-Mac just pointed out is exactly the reason I'm nervous about Golden State. Because Boston has size, they've got toughness, they've got offense, not from one, but from two dudes. I'm going to throw in a third, Al Horford.
Yes.
Why am I throwing Al Horford in there? Because he can shoot spot-up threes. That means Draymond has to go out and get him.
And Looney has to pull out.
And Looney has to come out, too, which could compromise you on the interior. I'm going to tell you who the key to this series is going to be.
On what team?
All right, Golden State, who changes everything.
Wiggins.
Yeah. He got to show up.
Yeah.
The Golden State Warriors, with Klay, with Steph, with the evolution of Jordan Poole, The Golden State Warriors will not win the championship if Andrew Wiggins does not show up.
So y'all
The Andrew Wiggins that we saw in this series against Dallas, that's the guy that has to show up against Boston.
And here's my thing, because Steph is the head, right? They have size, they have athleticism and speed to neutralize Steph. That's going to put pressure on Jordan Poole and Wiggins to deliver on the offensive end, and Klay Thompson as well. They're going to have to step up, because there's going to be some games where it's going to be tough offensively for Steph, what he's facing on the defensive end.
We just spoke about. I think one of you said Al Horford is going to be.
I see he's going to be a key factor
Offensively, because we haven't spoke about Al Horford defensively.
No, I know we know what he brings defensively.
So I just want people to understand, so the viewers understand that the teams that the Celtics have been playing has been dominated by guys with the ball, right? A lot of guys don't have the ball. The Boston Celtics struggle with playing guarding split offense. That's all Golden State runs, a split offense. They're not going to be keyed in on a guy doing an ISO dribble. Al Horford's, no discredit to Al Horford. He's been playing amazing like wine. I mean, Benjamin Button backwards, okay? Boy, he's been hooping. He ain't chasing Steph off the line. Like, he ain't chasing Klay. That's all I'm saying from that standpoint.
But you know this to know what T-Mac highlighted is on point.
Yeah, I didn't disagree with that.
They switch.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not asking anybody to chase somebody.
Mm-hmm.
They switch for the sole express purpose of making sure that every single possession, there's somebody in everyone's face.
And that's
You're
perfect.
not getting open jump shots. That's the problem.
And that's the thing, you just get into my key. As a basketball player, as T-Mac know, when you switch a lot, it's the worst defense against split offense. Because now you're done switching off, no communication, slip to the rim. Steph Curry coming off a curl. So I'm just being honest.
I get you, but that's
both
undisciplined defensive teams. These guys are very disciplined. There's a reason why they were the best defense.
Well, they got to get through Miami tonight, and we go see very soon.
Oh, they'll get through Miami.
Yeah, we go see very soon. I mean, you got to give Miami respect.
He's hurt.
We have to give Miami respect.
That's a wounded
We're
team.
saying they're hurt.
Yeah.
They're in an infirmary.
Yeah, I said they're going to beat them, but they still have to play the game.
They're hurt.
Anything can happen.
They still got to play the game. That's the only reason I picked the Celtics to win the series in 7 against Miami.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I'm just saying that Miami now, they're not.
They're
I'm
wounded.
just watching them, man.
I agree.
I'm watching them walk to the locker room. I'm watching them walk in the arena. Hell, they limping more than me. I mean, it's bad, man. They limping bad.
Yeah,
I mean, they hurt.
It'll be tough.
They are hurt.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
You know, it's got.
You'll be watching them tonight, too, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN.
It takes a lot to be hurt in Miami. It really does. It takes a lot to be hurt.
All right. T-Mac, the only one rolling with the Celtics. We get it. We get the Miami. We're picking up what you're putting down. When we come back here on First Take, the guys will be back here with us.
Brian, Miami.
With please never do that again. With Tyreek Hill praising Tua down in Miami. Ryan Clark will tell us if the Dolphins are a bigger threat to Buffalo than Bill Belichick's Patriots. You don't want to miss that. Plus, Butler was the top all-around player in the postseason, now obviously dealing with some injuries. To what extent, we don't know. In the last 3 games, Jimmy struggled to score, only getting up into the double digits once, a 13-point performance in Game 5. Not the Jimmy buckets we were watching earlier in the series. We know he's compromised. Now, the struggles in South Beach have caught the eyes of several big names around the league, including Sixers center Joel Embiid, who is second-team All-NBA in this season. And he said simply, Miami needs another star. Still crewed up here, Stephen A., T-Mac, and Pat Bev. So good to have you all. Pat, I'll start with you. Do you believe Jimmy Butler can be the best player on a championship team?
Initially, I said yes, but now it's no. Honestly, I don't think, and that's no discredit to his game. I love Jimmy. He's a two-way player. He plays both ends of the floor. I just don't think he could shoot the ball from the 3 good enough. He's been the main player. He's been the main catalyst. Not the main catalyst, but he was with Philly. He wasn't the main guy there. Obviously, he spent a little time with the Timberwolves. Couldn't get it done there. In Miami, couldn't get it done there. With the Bulls, couldn't get it done there. And this is young Jimmy. So I don't know if older Jimmy can do that.
Well, I don't view him as not being able to get it done. He was in Chicago. They got to the postseason. He was in Minnesota after years of being exiled from the postseason.
He said
they
championship.
Got to the postseason.
He said championship.
Right. All right.
So
but
answer the question. Championship.
Well, listen. We talk. Well, I'm just saying. You say he couldn't get it done. I'm just saying.
Championship.
Listen.
He hasn't won a championship.
Here's the deal.
That's the question.
If Jimmy Butler, the Philadelphia 76ers were ruled today, they lost him. They should have never, ever lost Jimmy Butler. If they had not lost Jimmy Butler, as tight as him and Joel Embiid are, Ben Simmons, I think, would have still been there playing. Jimmy Butler would have been there. With Joel Embiid, I think the Sixers could have been in the finals. at least 1 point over the last 2 or 3 years. But that didn't happen. But I will say this. You are right. Jimmy Butler shot 24% or less over the last 3 years from the three. And to me, if you are a superstar in the NBA, one or two things have to be going for you. If you either a big man that's an automatic dominant presence in the post, or you can hit from the outside. And Jimmy is neither. Jimmy can score, but he's not a three-point shooter, and he's obviously not a big that can dominate in the low post.
So what's the answer? Because sometimes we take these questions and we go the left lane.
No,
the question
the answer is,
do you think Jimmy Butler can be the best player on the championship? Okay, the answer
let me ask y'all a question.
So you were editing that?
No, I'm just trying to.
I'm just saying I didn't answer the question, but I
I
answered the question and then I gave detail.
Okay, gotcha.
Let me ask y'all a question. If you're the best player on your team and you make it to the NBA Finals and you don't win the NBA Finals, are you the best player on your team? You don't win the Finals MVP. Are you the best player on your team? Because what you're saying is Steph Curry. You're saying right. So you're saying Steph Curry is not. You're saying Steph Curry is not the best player on his team. He's not. He hasn't won an MVP Finals.
Yeah, I haven't. I didn't say that. You said that.
I'm asking you.
I don't know how to answer that. You put me in a tough pickle because you go use the Steph Curry.
Since when the hell have you cared about being in a tough pickle?
Ask the question.
When you care about that?
I'm asking because he said he doesn't think Jimmy Butler can be the best player on a championship team. I think Miami is one piece away from winning a championship, right? Yes. So I'm asking him. Steph Curry hasn't won a Finals MVP. Is he the best player on his team? Because that highlights the best player of that series, right?
Steph Curry wasn't the best player on the team when they won back-to-back championships. Kevin Durant was the best player on the Golden State Warriors. That's number one. So you don't have to be the best player on the team.
He was the best player when they won with when Iguodala got the Finals MVP.
Yes, yes, he
was. But the team's defense is to stop Steph Curry. Like the whole team is to stop Steph Curry.
True.
So
and the whole team is to stop Jimmy Butler.
Except for when KD was there.
When KD was
there, well, that wasn't the case. Now I would tell you with Jimmy Butler, I would tell you this: Jimmy Butler can be a key component on a championship team. But him being the best player on a championship team is a different animal.
So you don't think if they had another player on their team?
Like who?
I can't. I don't know.
Right.
I mean,
I'm just trying to dynamic. What type of player?
Just another sidekick. But Jimmy Butler is better than that player, right? But this player is very valuable to this team. Because I think if they had another piece, not better than Jimmy Butler, but just somebody that can relieve the offensive pressure off of him, absolutely, he could be the best player on a championship team because he has that. This man has scored 40 points in the playoffs this year.
Well, I see where you're going. I would answer the question this way. When you ask, can a player be the best player on the championship team? Here's what I think. Here you go. Take us there. Are you that dude? See, you have to be that dude.
They're in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Understand?
Yeah.
Wounded.
Right.
Who got them there?
He did.
Yeah, you
Jimmy
don't think
Butler.
he's proven that?
Right.
He's proven that. They're wounded.
But I had them losing even if he were healthy to Boston. So what I'm saying
Boston
to you,
much deeper team.
I understand, but I had him losing even if he were healthy. So what I'm trying to say is I get where you're coming from, but that's coming from a place where you evidently thought they were going to win. I'm of the mindset when I'm thinking about the best player on a championship team, when all else fails, everybody know what you're going to do. Everybody know what's coming or whatever. Here's the damn ball. Give it to me. I'm going to do it anyway.
Kevin
There's
Durant.
nothing you can do about it. That's
Cool.
KD.
That's
LeBron. That's people like
Kawhi
that.
Leonard.
Jimmy Butler, that's right. Jimmy Butler is Jimmy Butler's a big-time player. He's not that. He's big-time. Got mad love for him.
T-Mac,
but
do you
there's
think
levels.
he's that?
I think he doesn't have to be that, though, because what Miami builds as a culture, they do it by committee.
Okay.
But they will be good enough to win a championship.
So he's on a good team.
He's on a damn good team. Absolutely. And he will be the best player on that team because of what is surrounded by him. Okay. He will be the best player on that team.
Well, let me be very clear.
Please.
The disappointment in the statement you just made, and I mean, the brother's getting ready to do a one-on-one tournament. We got to talk about that. But the disappointment is that
Point it out.
Tracy McGrady was one of those stars that a franchise said, here, give it to us.
Yes.
Take us there.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say to you is that you're saying Jimmy Butler's he's great, and he's in the right system, and he's on a great team.
That
you know
says-
that's not what we talk. I understand
No,
the question.
you're saying with another
that
guy he
says-
could do that. With another talent, he could do that.
Absolutely,
They
he
just need
would be-
another piece.
For sure.
So
that
basically-
piece does not
For sure.
necessarily need to be better than
Let me
him.
ask you a
But give
question.
us a name. Try to
If he had an Andrew Wiggins alongside of him, who would be the better player? Jimmy Butler, right?
Yes.
But Andrew Wiggins would be very valuable defensively, and he could provide offensive scoring.
Andrew Wiggins would not be enough for the Miami Heat to get it done. He's enough on Golden
disagree.
State
Or
because
disagree,
of all
man.
the other weapons they have. Not for
What do you
Miami.
think they need
You
better?
know better. Stop it.
but use it-
Stop it.
No.
Just stop
With
it.
what Miami
it the
has
other way.
right now, and they add another piece like
Hey, no, I'm
Andrew
saying,
Wiggins.
okay, well, let's do that, but let's use it the other way. What if we had a younger T-Mac on the Heat?
That's different.
No,
See,
I
listen.
mean, whoa. Let him answer now, because he hit me with the trick question
Go ahead,
with Steph
go
Curry.
ahead. Okay,
If we had a younger T-Mac on the Miami Heat, would Jimmy Butler still be the main player?
You know he wouldn't. Why are you asking me that
Okay,
question?
I just want to make sure. Well, then your answer is.
So we saying this?
Andrew Wiggins ain't me. What
So
are you talking
saying
it's
this?
levels.
So why
That's
you
what we
acting-
saying.
why
It's
you acting
levels.
like you don't know what
That's
we
all
saying?
we saying.
I'm saying he doesn't have to be LeBron or KD.
Well, he
to
gonna
win
keep
a
getting put out the
championship.
East Conference
He has a
Finals
great
then.
team around him.
He gonna keep putting out the East.
talking
The
about.
question
He has a
isn't,
great
does he have to be
team.
LeBron?
agree.
Can he
He
be the
doesn't
best
have
player
to
on the
be.
team and win a
Yes.
championship? And you're saying, yes, but
Yes.
they need another piece.
Yes.
And that piece doesn't need to be as
That
good
piece
as him.
doesn't
No.
exist.
Can we talk about his one-on-one league? Because see,
I was gonna
the
do that
more-
later,
the more
but
that
if
we
you're gonna
stay
call
on
it-
this subject,
You could get
I
pissed off how you
remember the
want.
T-Mac that I spoke
Okay.
to when you talk about being that dude,
Let
and
me get the
suddenly you got
commercial break.
amnesia. Oh,
Jimmy Butler's my favorite
I'm
player,
be
world.
cool. I'm be
Oh,
cool.
okay.
Jimmy Butler.
His favorite
I got
player?
love for him
Really?
too.
He's nice.
We know he can ball.
Story like Jimmy Butler wasn't blessed with the type of talent I had. I was blessed with God-given talent. That man had to work his ass off to get to where he is
We love
right
Jimmy Butler. We love Jimmy Butler and mad respect for him. We just saying, like you said,
Just saying,
God-given.
He's top 10.
This God-given.
top 10
what?
talent. Top
10
10
what?
talent in the league. Top 10 talent in the league, bro.
I can't say no to that.
I can't
He's up-
say no, but
I ain't gonna say
He's
top 10, maybe top
talent in the
11.
league, bro. Look what this
Top
man
11.
is doing. Y'all gotta stop it.
He played. And I'm with you. He played both ends of the
man.
floor too. I agree with you.
Absolutely.
No. I know we gotta go. Hold on. We got KD.
1,
We got LeBron.
2.
We got Giannis.
Yeah, what you?
Tell me.
Giannis,
Hold on.
LeBron was 13.
Hold on.
Stop it.
No. We ain't talking about no 13. He missed games and the Lakers stunk. Stop that. We talking
Let him
individual
do the
talent.
list. Go
Stop
through
it.
the
Don't
list.
do
Go
that.
through the list. Go.
So we got KD,
Yeah.
Joel Embiid, Giannis, Jokic, Steph Curry.
Okay.
All right. I'm just thinking
five.
about top 10 now. Help me out,
Luka.
Pat Bev.
Luka.
Luka.
What are you talking about?
All right. Well, Kawhi didn't play this year, but we know where he would be if he was playing. We got that there. Okay.
stuck.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
You're at
You
like
stuck.
7 right now.
I'm starting to get stuck. Don't get me wrong. That's what I'm thinking.
Jason Tatum. Why are we-
Jason
why are we not
Tatum.
making
He in
this?
there.
Okay.
All right. Listen.
Kyrie?
We don't sleep on Kyrie Irving. We can't sleep on him now. I mean, listen. His problem. He don't show up to work.
So why
it
you
ain't that
put-
what
why
he
you
do when
put
he
him
does
top-
show
why
up.
you
That
put
was
him
me.
top
I
10
said
then?
Kyrie.
Talent. Just talking talent.
I'm saying what the ability to lead a team, what he's doing right now. Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
But there's a lot of
But
components.
Stephen A., even with
Yes.
the list, you didn't get to 10. So,
I said 11.
I'm thinking.
that's
I'm
top
thinking.
10.
That's it.
I'm
said
talking
it
about,
might
I'm
be.
talking about
Let's
the
think about it.
ability to
Okay.
lead a team talent.
Well,
let's
Jimmy
all
Butler's
take a breath.
great leader.
Let's take a breath.
He's
Let's
a
take
great
a moment.
leader.
When we
Man,
come
what-
back here
that's-
on
oh,
First
Jimmy
Take, the
Butler's a great
AFC
leader.
East
I'm saying?
used to
That's what
belong
I'm
to
saying.
New.
True.
How do you think you did this week?
I was in a very relaxed mode. I mean, when you're in South Beach, it just has a different effect on you. So, it was definitely great being there. It's very depressing to be back.
Oh, that's great.
But this is
Happy
what
to have you.
I'm happy to be by your side, Molly. But damn it, I wish I was in South Beach. And I'm upset that the Miami Heat are hurt because that means I don't get to go back this weekend. And I was looking forward to going back. So
Here's the
that's
good
kind of
news.
depressing, but it is what it is.
Listen, Miami Heat, how about Miami Dolphins? They're coming, and that's
Oh,
my
please.
transition here.
Please.
OTAs are in full swing, and maybe you're going for Dolphins games. And the Patriots have yet to name a new OC after Josh McDaniels left to take the job as the Raiders head coach. Mac Jones looking to build an impressive first year in which he led New England to the playoffs, and things are looking a little different in Miami this season. Tua has a new, young, and offensive-minded coach. And, don't forget about this addition, Tyreek Hill, who was traded from the Chiefs and given a huge contract. Here's the Cheetah on his new QB.
At first, I thought it was going to be something crazy, the ball going all over the place, but Tua actually has, probably one of the prettiest balls I've ever caught in my life. So it's very catchable. Tua is a very accurate quarterback. He's a heck of a talent, has crazy arm strength, arm talent, So like I say, man, we're all excited, just to watch him sling the ball each and every day.
RC back here with us, star of NFL Live, The Pivot, many other things. RC, tell me this. Which team is a bigger threat to Buffalo? Is it the Patriots or the Dolphins?
It's the Miami Dolphins. And, I know Stephen A. was almost blew a gasket because Swagoo said that the Patriots could finish fourth in the AFC East, but it's actually true. And now, we all believe in Bill Belichick. We know what he's been able to do with this team when they don't necessarily have the talent level of other teams offensively. But he also had Tom Brady during those times. And this was about Mac Jones progressing this offseason. He doesn't even have an offensive play caller. You bring back Matt Patricia and Joe Judge and now put those guys on offense. Did you watch Detroit's offense when Matt Patricia was there? Did you watch the development of Daniel Jones when Joe Judge was there? And that's now going to be the coach that's in the quarterback room with him. The calling offensive plays or setting offense into motion is also it's an art and it's a science. You have to be able to understand it, but you also have to be able to feel it. And the Patriots don't have that right now. But let's look at the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki. You had Chase Edmonds, Sony Michel in the backfield. You get Connor Williams up front, Teron Armstead in order to protect Tua Tagovailoa. And now you add Mike McDaniels, who understands how to work offenses or how to make offenses move without having elite level talent at the quarterback position. But Tua was a top 5 pick. Tyreek Hill is saying, basically Tyreek Hill said this, y'all. Tyreek Hill said, I ain't gonna lie, I thought he was gonna suck. But since I've been here, Tua ain't as bad as I thought he was gonna be. Tua actually does have talent, which I think is something we've always known. Now you put him in an offense that made Kirk Cousins be able to play well. That's made a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo get to the Super Bowl, get back to the NFC Championship. I believe the Miami Dolphins are set to not necessarily beat the Buffalo Bills, but to be the team that pushes them in the AFC East.
Oh, please. I don't believe that for 1 second.
Here
The one thing that I
go.
will say this, I am ecstatic. Let me tell you something right now. We all know my background's basketball. You understand what I'm saying? We know what I do.
Right.
Right? And I defer to the football greats like y'allself. But let me tell you something right now. It's people like you and Swagoo specifically that have made it so much fun come football season. I don't look forward to anything more outside of the NBA Finals than I look forward to the NFL season going at y'all week to week with the stuff that comes out of y'all mouth. I mean, please. First of all, what is Tyreek Hill going to say right now? So Tyreek Hill he signs for all this money, right, Ryan Clark? He's going to go like
He's
this.
rich.
Listen, check this out. Hold on, wait a minute. I could go back. That's why Ryan laughed, because Ryan know where I'm going. I could go back to his original press conference. He was raving about Tua then. So then he comes out yesterday and he's going like this, like Ryan just said. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of thought he was gonna stink. But hey, this brother got to go. Well, that ain't what you said when you got the money. You got the money and you like, yo, man, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of paper. I'm gonna be in South Florida. I'm good. And by the way, I got a good quarterback. Man. He gonna be all right. So now you revealed you thought what we thought. You see how this works? He ain't gonna tell the truth. I mean, please. They out there in spring football. They were getting ready. They were looking forward to coming to the Miami Heat game, for crying out loud. Ain't playing no damn real football out there yet. I want to hear about what Tua Tagovailoa is doing now. I like the kid. I went down to Alabama. I spoke to the football team. Tua was there. I got a lot of love for the kid, a lot of promise. But let's call it what it is. The Miami Dolphins and some of the stuff that they've been involved in with Brian Flores and everything. Guess what, RC? None of that happens if they had drafted Justin Herbert. But they passed on Justin Herbert in favor of Tua. And what has done? There's a vast discrepancy between what you're seeing from Justin Herbert or a Joe Burrow or Josh Allen, even Mac Jones last year. from what you're seeing from Tua Tagovailoa. So all of a sudden in the National Football League, it's going to leapfrog. And the acquisition of Tyreek Hill with Cedric Wilson, who came over from Dallas, by the way. Let's not forget about him, all right? They got some weapons over there, all right? We get all of that. But it all comes down to what your quarterback can do. And if your quarterback can't do it, he can't do it. So, RC, I'm glad you're smiling because I asked the producers to freeze frame that smile. To freeze frame that smile with you talking about the Miami Heat. And when Tua and them get out on that field and we see the cheater himself, Tyreek Hill, looking depressed on the sideline because he open and they can't get the ball to him, we going to sit up there and I'm going to say, could you give me that photo of Ryan Clark smiling, cheesing, talking about the Miami Heat going to be the biggest threat to the Buffalo Bills? It's the New England Patriots,
you keep calling them the Heat. You keep calling them the Heat. You still stuck in Miami. You still got your tan from Miami that you can get in the inside. You didn't call the Dolphins the Heat 2 times. You're not even respecting the team. Tua Tagovailoa is going to have a breakout season, Stephen A. He's going to have a breakout season this year. He's going to be a guy they're going to be a run-first team, then a play-action team, and we have seen quarterbacks who we didn't necessarily count amongst the elite have extremely productive and successful seasons. We were acting like Tua Tagovailoa has no skill.
RC, is Tua going to have a better season than Mac Jones?
Yes. Tua Tagovailoa will have a better season than Mac Jones this year.
I will say that.
Stamp that. I want you to freeze frame that smile, Stephen A.
Tua can play. Tua can play. It's just that he's miniature. And I think standing in that pocket behind those big bodies, guarding him and those coming at him, it's a lot for a guy his size to overcome with the struggles that he's already displayed he has. Ryan Clark is not taken into consideration the guys that are playing on the opposite side of the field that are going to be coming at him that got film on this brother, like Ryan would have film on people. You could think that all you want to about Tua. Maybe he will, but I doubt it. That's not what I feel. Not compared to the.
To be continued.
We see you week 8.
To be revisited. Exactly. RC, have an awesome weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, bro.
Still to come on
Great
First Take.
weekend.
Can the Heat keep this series going?